Caribbean wants reparations, Africa wants reparations, Black America wants reparations. But here's the question that nobody asks. Could they force Europe and America to pay? The answer is yes, and I'm about to show you exactly how. Peace, family, and welcome back to the Quiet Rebirth TV. I'm Tila, and today we are talking about something powerful, something overdue, and something the world isn't ready for. What would happen if Africa and the Caribbean teamed up and demanded reparations together? If you're ready to awaken, remember, and rebirth, let's get into it. Part 1. Who is asking for reparations right now? Reparations is not just a Black American conversation. All across the world, Jamaica, Barbados, Haiti, Trinidad, Guyana, Belize, St. Lucia, Grenada, and the Bahamas, plus African countries like Ghana, Kenya, Nigeria, South Africa, Namibia, Ethiopia, are demanding reparations from Britain, France, Spain, Portugal, Belgium, the Netherlands, and the United States. The list is huge. The Caribbean is already organized through CARICOM. Africa is gaining strength through the African Union, but the game changes if they unite. Part 2, why reparations are legally possible. Most people think reparations can't happen, but legally, reparations are possible when there is documented harm, clear responsibility, historical evidence, economic impact, international support. And guess what? Slavery, colonization, and genocide are extremely well documented. Europe kept records, America kept records, plantation logs, shipping logs, slave ship manifests, population data, economic data, violence records, colonial financial documents. The evidence already exists. The question is not, do we have proof? The question is, do we have power? Part 3, why the Caribbean has the strongest reparations case. CARICOM, the group of Caribbean nations, already created a 10-point reparations plan. This includes debt forgiveness, land return, economic repair, educational support, cultural repatriation, development programs, and apologies. The Caribbean has legal teams, historians, documentations, and political unity. They are the best positioned group on earth to demand reparations. Part 4, why Africa strengthens the case. Africa brings population power, resource power, voting power, moral authority, historical continuity, and global alliances. If Caribbean nations team up with Africa, that becomes the largest moral, historical, and political demand for reparations the world has ever seen. Part 5, how reparations can be forced, the 4 pathways. Now let's get into the part that nobody explains. Pathway 1, economic pressure. Africa and the Caribbean can demand higher taxes on foreign companies, nationalizing resources, refusing unfair trade deals, increasing export fees, blocking certain Western access. If Europe and America lose African minerals or Caribbean trade routes, they feel the pressure fast. Pathway 2, diplomatic unity. If Africa and the Caribbean start voting together at the UN, that's 70 plus countries demanding reparations. They can pass resolutions, demand investigations, pressure Western governments, shift global alliances. Europe can't outvote them. Pathway 3, legal tribunals. They can create their own international court and try the West in African Union tribunals, Caribbean regional courts, and Global South human rights courts. Even if the West refuses to show up, the verdict will stand as a global moral judgment. Pathway 4, resource leverage. This is the nuclear option. Africa controls cobalt, diamonds, gold, oil, lithium, copper, and gas. Caribbean controls shipping routes, tourism power, and cultural influence. If these regions unite and say, we want reparations or we restrict access, the world economy shakes. Part 6, the West fears precedent. If one nation pays reparations to Africa or the Caribbean, every nation might have to pay. The U.S. could owe 14 to 17 trillion. The Britain could owe 10 trillion plus. France could owe billions for Haiti alone. Belgium could owe untold trillions for the Congo. That's why the West avoids this topic. Not because reparations are impossible, but because they're too possible. Part 7, the spiritual side of reparations. This is bigger than money. Reparations spiritually represent acknowledgement, healing, rebalance, restoration, truth-telling, and ancestral justice. The ancestors aren't silent. The world is shifting. The global South is rising. The West is weakening. The truth is surfacing. Reparations is not a question of if, it's a question of when. Family. Africa and the Caribbean absolutely can force reparations, not through begging, but through unity, power, and strategy. When our nations come together, the world has to listen. If this message has reached your spirit, subscribe and join the Rebirth Tribe. Drop your thoughts in the comments because every voice matters in this awakening. Until next time, stay protected, stay informed, and stay in your power.